Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Transport Fever. It's episode 7 and we are going to take to the skies. I'm going to build 2 airports. I'm going to set up a couple of lines both from St. Paul to New York City instead of Erie as I was trying in the previous episode. And we're going to make a lot of cash. At least that's the plan. Now this nice open stretch here does have enough room to house an airport. And if I can tie it into this truck stop, that would be perfect. So here it comes. The big cargo airport. To be fair, it doesn't really matter if you build a cargo airport or a passenger airport and then add the other building if you still want to use that. That works. Let's put that over here-ish. And yes, the airport's not connected yet. That's by design, because I can still set up a, well, in this case a country road would be enough. So long as it connects to the airport. This little bit here. And then this here. There, now the truck stop also covers the airport. Right. Now, I was initially intending on building an airport in or near Erie. Which works. But, well, you can see my, my makeshift island over here. It's very expensive to build an island. Let's not. Let's go where there's room. Which is currently not really next to Erie, but it is next to New York. Look at all this nice flat land here. I'm going to set up my airport here. Unfortunately, I'm a little low on cash. But if I just wait a minute or so, there we go. Now, I want this airport to potentially have 2 runways at a later stage. So I'm going to make sure that there is room on the coastline to build a second port, or second runway. Alright, that part's set up. Now to go with a medium country roads, connect that. And now it is connected also to the oil well. So even if I wanted to, well, at some point I might need to ship oil, I could do that. Alright, truck stop. I'm going to make sure this thing has some room because it's going to be a combined truck stop, cargo stop. And here's why. I want cargo to come in from the airport and get delivered to New York City. But in return, I want passengers to be picked up from New York City, transferred to the airport, and then flown all the way over here to St. Paul. That's the plan. So St. Paul will also need an improved truck stop. Currently, it's actually already a little busy. I'm using the same terminal for multiple lines, which is usually not a good idea. So let's see if it now does split out better. Cargo. Yeah, I want you to go to Terminal 3. There, now everything's working alright for the cargo. Now I do need to set up quite some prerequisites here. Because this is the production factory that I want to use. So this is something that's going to have to start shipping or get planks shipped to it. And then ship from here back to the airport. I gotta make sure that the game doesn't confuse my lines. Because it can do that. If I were to just set up one truck stop over here, and then connect that up, is this, yeah, 100 kbps, that's good enough. See, here's the thing, if I could connect this to here, that would work, and that would take planks, which, well, we don't quite have enough of, but at least this one has more planks than it's consuming, or just about. Steel is still a problem. That would mean that if I ship it from here to there, it might actually also ship the tools back here. In which case, this line, I think, which happens to also transport logs and planks, is going to try to pick up that stuff. So that's not what I want. I'm going to set up 2 lines to avoid that. This goes to here. And this is the St. Paul Tools Airport supply. Ah, a couple new aircraft. Boeing 757-200. It's a big plane. Alright, this line. I'm going to make this a little bit more specific than I have in the past. At tram station 5 over here, I want you to load. Load tools here. And over here, I only want you to offload tools. Don't pick up anything else. That's it. That's all. And then from over here to there. Oh, actually, I can make that the same line. Which one was that? St. Paul Airport Supply. I got so many of them at this point. Here. After number 2, I want you to pick up logs. No, not logs. Planks from here. So over here, just load planks, which you're then going to unload over here. So, doesn't really matter where you start, but let's say it starts here. Picks up tools, brings that to the airport, then carries no cargo as it goes to the factory here, picks up planks and brings those to the factory over there. And that's going to be looping around the island. But just to make it a little faster, I'll not set up a tunnel. I'll set up a country road going across, but in small jumps. Otherwise it's just going to get too expensive. There you go. Alright, upgrade some of the existing infrastructure. Far as I can, that is. Because of course some of these parts are being connected to other lines as well. And that's something that's causing a little bit more build time. Oh, come on now. You're gonna be like that? What are you colliding with? What are you possibly colliding with? That's the grain line that's causing issues at this point. There. It's not the most beautiful of roads, but it works. Okay, so that's restored. Does this thing get enough logs, I wonder? There are a lot of logs stored at this part. So let's build 2 more Peterbilts to help out with the log supply. Because I'm demanding a lot more from these planks than I was previous. Terminals, yep, that's split out perfectly. That's the bus. I need another terminal. I could do that here, I think. No, maybe not. Just here then. It's going to be a busy department here. Let's switch you to Terminal 4. Alright. Now, fortunately I already have a bus stop here on the edge of town, Lower St. Paul. It's a bus/tram stop, and I can use this and also add passengers. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm setting up this extra line, I want this airport to become as profitable as possible, and you do that by just adding more lines to it. If I were to just go with one airport and one line on it, it would possibly be profitable, but airports are really expensive things to run. So that's why I've decided to set up also a passenger line. This is not St. Paul Bus Tram Station number 4. This is St. Paul International. Alright, I need a bus line. Starting here, going there. So this is St. Paul to the airport. Let's go with a couple of buses. St. Paul to the airport. Alright, so that's done. Now I will need to change the airport a little, because I also need a passenger terminal. Otherwise the passenger planes cannot land and load. Well, they can land, but they can't load. So that's on one side. And same thing over here. That's the main terminal. This is the passenger terminal. What? Oh, are you kidding me? Is that road in the way? Then we shall fix that. There, no more road. Passenger terminal. Really expensive at 5 million. But then again, airports never do come cheap, do they? Now, if at all possible, I want this coal mine. There you go. To just have a road connection on the other side of it. Because I'm expecting further growth for this airport. Potentially. Maybe later. Anyway. One line for the passengers and one line for the cargo. So we're going to start with cargo, starting over there. Hold on, you're still called number 4? Unfortunately, that doesn't translate, apparently. This is St. Paul to NYC Tools airline. And then we have another one. Doesn't really matter where you start. Passenger to passenger. And this is NYC to St. Paul airline. Or passenger airline, if you want to be exact. Now, I'm letting the game run intentionally to make sure that I actually have enough cash to buy my aircraft. Because that's also quite an expensive hobby. Alright, what lines do we not have anything yet? Yeah, the St. Paul and the Tools airline, or the Tools 2 airline. No, sorry, this is the Tools airline, so that's the plane. And this is the other plane. And airport supply also needs a couple of vehicles. So let's go with a couple of Peterbilts. Airport supply, St. Paul. There. Alright, let's step away from the computer there for a sec. Anyway, I got more cash. We are transporting a hell of a lot more planks. They are being supported or transported to the tools factory. And well, they're consuming something. But what are they building? Because at the moment, there's no real demand for these tools. Which is interesting. Oh, there could be one line that's picking them up. That one. This one could potentially be picking up tools. But then I have no idea where you'd be shipping them to St. Paul. Oh, well, so be it. What was I doing? I was building a line. This one has passengers coming from here, but no vehicles yet. Alright, let's set up a couple of buses. Passenger, 2 buses to St. Paul to the airport. Then, over in New York City. New York City is actually easier. Because New York City already has a bus line that I can just add one more stop to. That's this one. Now, let me light it up. There. It's going from St. Paul to New York. All I need to do is add one more stop. After the exchange, go here. New York City branch. But New York City branch is currently only a truck stop, which doesn't work. So let's add a passenger line, or passenger stop. Oh, come on. If you could just smarten up a little, that would make my life easier. Add that. There. Alright, so now they can walk from here all the way to the airport. Now I still need one offload line that starts here, being here, and drops it off somewhere in New York. They need the tools here, mostly. So if I would use this, let's say this side street over here, that would probably cover most of it. Yeah, that covers most of the area where they need supplies, or where they need the tools. Add station, that one. NYC Tools Supply. And again, add a couple of vehicles. I have a road depot hidden somewhere in this town. Here. Let's take 2 Peterbilts. Might not even be enough, or might be too much. We'll just have to see as it deploys. This is NYC Tool Supply. Alright, and now it's time for an airplane. I'm going to intentionally launch the airplane from here to give it a little bit of time to get the other line loading stuff onto the airport. Now you got a couple of different picks over here. You got the very small planes, the short 330, sorry, the short 330 C-23 Sherpa. It works. It's not particularly fast, but it only carries 12. The Canadair, or Canadair, or however you're supposed to pronounce that, can transport 27, does 644, and seems to be a decent pick. I mean, sure enough, they're expensive, but I might be able to run with that. You also have the 737-200. See, I'm not even sure if they can get up to that speed. This one's slightly slower. You also got the Hercules for running cost $1 million a year and $7 million in total cost. The BR Aerospace 146. And if you really want to go big or go home, then you bring a Boeing 757. Now, I would rather have multiple aircraft on this one line than just one big one. And that has to do with the continuity of supply. Because if there is nothing to ship from this airport, then my Peterbilts are going to be just bored, basically. And I want to make sure that they always have something to transport. So I'm going to set up one Hercules. Actually, no, let's go with two. I think I can afford that. And set both of these to the New York City, St. Paul, New York City tools line. Okay, here they come. Out of the hangar. And we have our first liftoff, or we are at least about to have our first liftoff. The hills of New York City, the renowned hills. Clear for takeoff. Over the area that we've been improving over the tropics. If you look to your, to your far right, you can still see the edge of New York over there. And let's speed up the remainder of the flight. And see if I can actually show you St. Paul as we're flying over it, because I think we are. Not quite flying over it on the trip towards. On the trip back, we're more or less flying over it. But I think that these planes are getting close enough to watch it anyway. Let's see, it's over the bridge now. Here it is. There. There in the distance, you can see the town of St. Paul. A town that we've been so improving over the last couple of episodes. You can even see the grain ship. I cannot actually point it out because it doesn't have cursor at this point, but you can see the grain ship traveling across the, well, maybe a lagoon as we can call it, although it's not quite a lagoon because there is a bridge over there so the ships can travel from one side to the other. St. Paul. All of its glory. I do imagine that it might get loud in St. Paul with the aircraft. Now, vice versa, if you're standing around in St. Paul, you can see the first aircraft now flying over. Provided I can pan the camera up enough. And I can't. I can pan it down, but not up. So, yeah, unfortunately I cannot exactly show you that aircraft, I'm afraid. Maybe from the ship? Yep, there it is. There's the first aircraft. Here she comes. Oh, it's hard to keep that thing in the front. Look at St. Paul. Anyway, this is aircraft 1. Let's get the camera angled properly. The aircraft number 2 has already landed. And there are tools waiting to be picked up. 4 of them, in fact. Let's see. Any more? No, that's the grain line. There are 3 more tools, but we only just started with the tools demand on this airport. So it's going to be a little bit of time before that actually kicks off. And that's alright. You need to be a little patient with these lines before they make money. Now, for the passenger line. Another passenger aircraft. I could go with a 737-100. They cost me 8.6, 1.4 per year. 20 passengers only. I would rather, again, set up 2 smaller aircraft than one 757. I hope, at some point, that there's going to be enough demand for this airline that I can build, let's say, 2 of these. Maybe even 3. But for the moment, I'm gonna have to go with one of these. Now keep in mind that it's not just a line from St. Paul to New York. That's what it initially appears as, but that's not exactly what it is. Because this unlocks a whole region. New York City is connected to Erie and Stamford. And similarly, St. Paul is connected to Stockton and Thornton up here in the north. So I'm not just connecting 2 towns, I'm connecting 6 towns together. And yes, the people from Thornton would have to take their hovercraft first, and then actually transfer to the airport, to the aircraft. So they would have to dock here, take the bus, go to the airport, and from there move to New York. But they can do that, and they probably will do that, as in fact. Now let's get the aircraft. I can now afford it. Passenger airline. Plane sets. Couple of tools waiting here. 20 of them. I think it's a little too late for my aircraft. This one's running empty. This one's also running empty. Where are you at? That's St. Paul, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's St. Paul. Because they're not here. Or sorry, then it's New York, then it's not St. Paul. 29 tools. How are we doing for supply over here? Oh, not too bad. Although the amount of planks that I'm shipping towards the factory are not great. That is something that I might need to look into. And also make this thing a little bigger, because the trucks seem to have difficulty making that turn. 25 logs are being brought in, but logs are working in a 2-to-1 ratio. Consumption 400. Oh, it's been upgraded. Nice. This would be the passenger aircraft. And aircraft 2 is going to be the first one to actually pick up tools. Guys, be careful. That was close. I mean, they don't actually crash into each other, but I still don't want to get that animation. There we go, tools loaded. I still think that these planes are clipping with their wings through each other. Wow, there's even more tools than I can transport with 2 planes. Alright, let's keep an eye on plane 2 and see how much that's going to make me. Because it's probably going to be quite a bit of cash. It needs to be at least 1 million. If it can only make 1 trip per year, but I think it could make 2. Maybe even 3. And yes, don't take the whole date too seriously, because... Oh, I actually just passed my birth date. It's weird having an airplane in the skies from a period of weeks to months. It's not accurate, it doesn't make sense. Don't pay attention to it. It's not worth it. It's a game, it's Transport Fever 2 to be exact, and just don't pay that too much mind. Now we get our first bus, or at least not really our first bus, but I wonder if it... Oh, my bad. After New York City Holt, over there, I also want you to go to New York City branch. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to 1. That's a mistake. That's been fixed. You're trying to pick up the tools, and the tools are about to be shipped, or about to be delivered here. Tell me. 2,000,004. Oh wow, that's a lot of cash for 1 flight. So with 1 flight, I immediately recouped my operating costs. Not so much the investment of the plane itself, but this line is going to make me really quite rich. And we got our first passengers. People are waiting to go to New York, or to St. Paul. Over here the Peterbilts are now loading up the tools, getting ready to ship that to New York, which should further boost the growth of New York. Because the growth of New York has stalled a little bit at 325. If I start providing supply over here, that should help. And then you got the quality of stations, quality of traffic, it's all very good, but emissions are poor. Which is a bit of a detractor from the growth. So I'll probably have to set that up in the next episode, where I'm going to be providing all my vehicles with improved maintenance, making sure they don't pollute as much. Now these people are going to be waiting for a good bit of time. How about the other side? What's happening in St. Paul? First passenger. The very, very first. How about this bus? One whole passenger. Look at that. Now I can check what people from Thornton want to do, where they want to go. There's one way to go to Nashville to shop. Nashville must have some exclusive shops. If they're willing to go all the way from here, Thornton, all the way to there. There must be something really exclusive about Nashville at this point. A couple waiting to go to New York City. And we had Erie, which is currently not really that popular yet. This is popular. New York City, Nashville bus. Probably going to need a couple more buses. New York City, Nashville bus. NYC Nashville, how did I call that? Here. I'm not sure if they're all waiting to go to the airport. Maybe. How about this? Yeah, there's another 42 waiting to go with the Nashville bus. I wonder, where do you want to go? Commercial building. Where's that? That's in Nashville. Okay, so you're actually waiting to take the bus there. I'm looking for plane people. Nashville. I think Nashville, New York is still going to remain the most popular transit direction. Commercial building. Oh, you're going in Nashville transit, right? Commercial building. All the way in Stamford. You have some travels ahead of you, sir. So this guy is going from Nashville with a bus to New York City, with a hovercraft to Erie, and then with another hovercraft to Stamford. Well, he's going to be paying a lot for that. St. Paul. Here. 32 tools waiting. Is there an airport or an airplane coming in? No, an airplane just left. Aircraft 1 left. I'm going to buy another aircraft. I'm going to buy another cargo aircraft, another Hercules. Because I think that I can get a lot more tools here than I can get planes to transport. At least if I'm continuously using the Hercules. Consumption is also going up. Production's going up as much as I provide planks, that is. And over here... yeah, I really will need to add more trucks to the logs line. Let's go with another couple of Peterbilts. That was this long one. There's probably still enough to pick up on this part. Well, not that many. I'm approaching capacity. In which case I'll probably have to start using this forest here as well. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Go from... yeah, I can do that. Let's set that up as the last bit of the episode. Truck station here. Actually, on this side it would make a little bit more sense. Albeit more expensive. But money is really not that much of an object for me. New line, or at least change of line. This should be ideally the start. But it could also be the end. Let me see. Over here I need to be loading logs, and I need to be offloading those to St. Paul West. So there needs to be a stop between that one and that one, starting here. Over here I just want you to load logs. And in St. Paul West I want you to offload the logs. Unload. There. That should fix it. So now it's going to go from 1 to... hold on. Yeah, 1, 2, back to the logs, and then to the factory over there. Oh, condition's very poor. How much emission does that thing have now? 77. Is that bad? What is it? It's an old vehicle. It's a Studebaker. Normally has an emission of 70. So your emission goes up by 10% if the condition goes to very bad. Then again, the truck's 25 years old. And what does it do? Oh, it's providing Erie with fuel. Right. Well, I don't think I'm going to need a Peterbilt for that, because I'm not shipping that much. So let's replace it with a MAN 19304. Which plane is this? Airplane 2. More tools are awaiting pickup. 37 of them, no less. And, oh, we got our first passengers. Lots of them, too. How much do you make? Also 2 million? Really? Because that would be a lot of cash. If I set up an extra plane at this point, I would probably be making more. Because there's going to be more of an airplane supply or a constant option to take planes. And that would mean that there might be more demand for that line. Now let's wait for this passenger line to land and see how much that's going to net me. We've got the new Flyer and the Hercules 11 towboats and the tanker towboats. Whoa, look at that thing zipping across the map. You're a hell of a lot faster, aren't you? He's doing 613 as opposed to 442. So, yes, they mostly do get up to their desired speeds. I completely lost them. That one. What's your maximum speed? 778. Okay, they don't get up to maximum speed. Alright, bring down the aircraft and show me the money. Unfortunately, there's only 10 people there. 12. It is a bit of a walk for these people, but so be it. Is that the plane? Yeah, that's aircraft 3. Now, airplanes and airports are expensive. Infrastructure maintenance, 4 million a year. Regardless, I got 9 million out of it. So, the aircraft currently are not that profitable yet, because I'm only getting 610 from them. But investing in the infrastructure is the most expensive part. And the maintenance of the vehicles, of course. But now that I have the infrastructure, I can now... There you go, 1.5 million. I can now use this airport for other purposes as well. So at some point, I could set up an airport over here in Boise. And from here, unlock Abilene, New Haven, Stockton potentially. Just lock that all in together. And then set up another line from Boise to St. Paul. And that's the way that you just keep making money, money, money. Now, to satisfy those people who've been clamoring that I pay back my loan, here we go. I'm almost getting more money than I can pay off. That makes sense. There, I'm now down to 5.5 million in loan, which very soon is going to be even more. And look at the amount of cash that I'm making. 9 million, almost 10, 4, 7. This is going really well with Stealth 17 transport. Alright, that's where I'm going to leave you this episode. We got our first airlines, and they are profitable. The airports overall are mostly profitable, well, actually quite very profitable. 2.8 million a year. Ships still doing good, roadways are still doing good. I'd say we are well on track to getting very, very rich with this transport network. Thank you for joining, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Catch you then.